So you describe dVIN as building kind of like the NASDAQ for wine. So in practice, you talk about the sort of lack of liquidity, the decentralization. What's sort of the vision for dVIN then?
So what we do with dVIN is we've developed over the course of 3 years a protocol that we're basically working on the common protocol or the global protocol to put wine on the blockchain, the universal protocol. Now there's a couple of interesting things there. One is that protocol is, a lot of folks think when they think of wine or when they think of some physical assets on the blockchain, um, they look at like NFTs as being redeemable, right? Like you redeem your NFT in order to get that asset. We don't see it that way. We see the smart contract or what we call a digital cork as a deed of ownership over the bottle of wine. And so you have a deed of ownership, and then kind of the special sauce that we've included is the ability to track not just ownership of the bottle, but also custody of the bottle, right? So the initial custodian is the winemaker. Typically, a trusted custodian is a bonded warehouse
Yep.
or an auction house, anywhere where you have a local authority for audit, so that that wine is there, and then there's what we call the private custody, which is anywhere other than that, right? So as long as the
Cellar in your basement.
yeah, in your basement or even at a restaurant or a wine shop, right? Anywhere where it's outside of a controlled environment. That said, there's nearly $500 billion worth of wine that's in either the winery or a bonded warehouse. So taking that wine and tokenizing it allows for lots of different things. First of all, it allows for global liquidity, right? Like you can see where all the bottles are, you can see where they're traded, and it allows for you to have it allows for demand and supply to meet one another, which is not currently. You've got the hub and spoke model,
Yep.
where you'll make the wine, you'll send the wine to 1,000 places in the world, and then you'll hope that supply and demand in all of those 1,000 places is matched.
Right.
That's never the case, right?
Yeah, there's preferences and then, all kinds of things that go into what people want to drink.
By tokenizing and by abstracting custody and ownership, we allow for people to be able to, for that demand to be able to really find supply. And then the shipping happens later, right? So you can buy a wine, have it shipped to you later. And especially for investment grade wine, it really creates a much more balanced way of looking at the market, a lot more liquidity in the marketplace.